All right, let's pull back the curtain on the stock market. And don't worry, we're not going to get bogged down in a bunch of complex charts or confusing jargon. Instead, we're just going to follow the surprisingly fascinating journey of one single buy order, from the moment you click that button to the second you become a shareholder. Let's trace the path. It feels like magic, right? You decide you want to own a little piece of a company, you hit a button on your phone, and poof, a few moments later, it's yours. But behind that simple click is this incredible, high-speed system hard at work. So what is actually going on in those few seconds? Well, that click is basically the starting gun. The moment you hit buy, that order gets fired off from your brokerage account, the app or website you use. But it's not like it just magically finds someone to sell to you. No, your order is just beginning a high-speed journey to a very specific destination, a central marketplace where all the action happens. And that special destination? Well, that's the stock exchange. Think of it as the main arena, the official, regulated marketplace where all the buyers and sellers come to meet. It's really the heart of the financial world, and its job is to coordinate this massive flow of buy and sell orders all day long. So, let's break that down. What exactly is a stock exchange? At its core, it's basically a giant, super organized auction for shares of public companies. You've probably heard of the big ones, right? The New York Stock Exchange, the NASDAQ. These are the places where millions of investors come together to trade. Their whole job is to make sure this massive auction runs smoothly and, most importantly, fairly for everyone involved. Okay, so an exchange really has three main jobs to do. First up, fairness. It sets the rules and makes sure everyone plays by them. Second, transparency. This just means everyone sees the same prices at the exact same time. And third, and this one is super important, it creates something called liquidity. That's just a fancy word that means there are always plenty of buyers and sellers around, which makes it easy for you to trade quickly. And that's vital, because it means you can sell your shares and get your money whenever you need it. Okay, so our little buy order has made it to the exchange. Awesome. Now what? Now we got to talk about price. And here's something you might not realize. There's not just one single price for a stock. It's more like a constant, super fast negotiation between what buyers are willing to pay and what sellers are willing to accept. This whole negotiation really boils down to two key numbers. On one side, you've got the bid price. That's the most that any buyer out there is willing to pay right this second. On the other side, you have the ask price. That's the lowest price any seller is willing to take. For your buy order to actually happen, it needs to meet that ask price. And you see that little gap, that tiny difference between what buyers will pay and sellers will accept? Well, that's called the spread. For a really popular stock that a ton of people are trading, that spread is going to be super tiny or tight. And that's a fantastic sign of that liquidity we were just talking about. It means the market is humming along efficiently. All right, here's the thing. This whole marketplace, this whole system of matching buyers and sellers, it's not open 24/7. Yeah, just like your local supermarket, the stock exchange has set business hours. And for the best results, your order really needs to show up when the doors are open. So let's look at a typical trading day here in the US, all in Eastern time. Things actually kick off super early with pre-market trading at 4 a.m. But really, the main event, the big show, is when the opening bell rings at 9:30 a.m. and runs until the closing bell at 4 p.m. After that, there's a smaller after-hours session that goes until 8 p.m. And this chart? It shows you exactly why those regular hours are so key. Just look at that massive spike in the middle. That's what we call trading volume. Basically, how many shares are being traded. As you can see, the overwhelming majority of trading happens between 9:30 and 4 o'clock. Why? Because that's when liquidity is at its peak, making it the easiest and often best time to get your order filled. So, there you have it. We've followed our little buy order from the click of a button all the way to the finish line. And as you can see, this whole system, with its specific place, its price negotiation, and its set hours, it's anything but random. In fact, it's the very foundation that allows millions of people like you and me to invest with confidence every single day. So let's just quickly recap the big ideas from this whole journey. First, exchanges are the fair and transparent arenas where all this happens. Second, remember that stock prices aren't just one number. They're an ongoing negotiation between the bid and the ask. Third, that little gap between them, the spread, is a great clue about how busy that stock's market is. And finally, timing matters a lot. The vast majority of the action happens during those official market hours. And that really brings us to a final, bigger idea. Once you understand the mechanics of this journey, how orderly and regulated it all is, you start to see the market differently. It's not just a bunch of random numbers flashing on a screen.
It's a powerful system designed to connect companies that need money to grow with people who want to invest in that growth. So when you think about it that way, what does this incredible, orderly marketplace really make possible for all of us?